The benefits of being an IAM member extend far beyond the words printed on the pages of your union contract. Our contracts will always be about getting better wages, benefits, and working conditions for our members. But we must never forget the other things that bring us together as Machinist Union family. Benefits that are exclusive because we are IAM. Puerto Rico is known for its beautiful beaches, bold cuisine, and melodic cultural music. But after Hurricane Maria passed over the island in 2017, everything changed, leaving a path of devastation.
The first pictures now coming in from Puerto Rico after taking a direct hit. Hurricane Maria slamming into the island, and as you heard, one official saying the island is destroyed.
Se quedaron, ¿verdad? Sin alimento inmediato.
It's an ongoing problem. Many parts of the island are not back to normal. Some people don't see progress happening.
An aerial view gives you a haunting look of the damage left behind by the storm. Lillian Bensacourt Lopez, a nurse practitioner and IAM member of Local Lodge 2725, stands in shock as she looks around at what used to be her home.
Yo sé que hay gente con más necesidad que yo.
It's been horrible. There are a lot of people in need. My community has suffered a lot.
But Lillian won't be alone as she figures out how to pick up the pieces. She is one of over 150 members receiving emergency relief checks raised by IAM members through the IAM's Disaster Relief Fund.
I am very appreciative of the money the union is giving me. Thank you for taking time to personally come to my home and see what I have suffered.
On behalf of the IAM, Lole and Juan spent a week visiting members on the island. You see, this is home for them too. And here, you take care of family.
And that's part of what we do, is to serve the community and our members as best as we can.
Tengo que estar profundamente agradecido.
I'm very grateful and very emotional because we are able to give back to our members. You can see it in their eyes.
My community was devastated. We didn't have power. Nobody could get in and out. The trees, living in an area where you have mature trees, they're 70, 80 feet tall. The soil is real soft for all the water. And then the wind comes in, it devastated it.
In 2018, Hurricane Florence left catastrophic damage in North Carolina. After landfall, torrential rain continued to fall for days. Giant trees were overturned and parking lots looked like waterways.
At the worst, the wind was coming so hard, it was like about 105, 107 mile an hour wind.
Thousands of residents, including Machinist members, were faced with what to do next. The IAM's Disaster Relief Department stepped in and did what they do best, and that's help. Staff went to North Carolina to assist members affected by the storm, giving them financial assistance to begin rebuilding what Florence took away.
These folks, they came all the way from Washington, D.C. to help me out. Hey, I'm thankful. I really appreciate it.
Still today, Puerto Rico, North Carolina, and many other areas that have experienced natural disasters continue to recover from the aftermath of storms. And the IAM will be there indefinitely, helping disaster victims rise and rebuild, because that's what family does. Kenneth Avery worked as a millwright at Crown Beverage Packaging in Olympia, Washington for several years before recently moving to Wyoming. While he is no longer an IAM member, he will always remember the day when his union ultimately saved his life.
I've been exposed to alcohol since birth, really. My mother was an alcoholic and she passed from that at an early age.
Growing up around addiction is tough and a hard bullet to dodge for many. Around age 14, Kenneth began binge drinking, and soon it became excessive. By the time he reached adulthood, his use of alcohol was out of control. One day at work, it all came to a screeching halt. Kenneth knew he wasn't going to be able to stop on his own, so he asked for help.
Alcohol was taking over my thoughts and my dreams and my aspirations, my health. And, Yeah, I went into work that morning and asked somebody if they would help me out with the phone call because I wasn't very clear-minded. I was pretty much intoxicated, you know. We made the phone call and I spoke with Vinny. He asked me if I was willing to do anything to get sober and go through this process, and I said I was.
Since 2019, when the IAM Addiction Services program first started, Vinny Sarasso has helped hundreds of IAM members and their families. He believes you have to treat the entire person, not just the addiction.
Well, we only use dual diagnosis treatment centers. They can treat you for your addiction and they can treat you for your underlying mental health condition. What a lot of people don't realize is the underlying issue is what makes you abuse drugs or alcohol. It's not genetic where it's in your genes. It's you abuse certain things because of these underlying issues. You're trying to, for lack of a better way to explain it, you're trying to silence the demons.
Treating the underlying issue is what makes this program so successful and why far less people who contact Vinny relapse.
People relapse at a rate of about 70%. That's the national average. And our relapse rate is somewhere around 7 or 8%. It's actually a very small percentage because we're getting it right the first time.
Today, Kenneth has been sober for 3 years, feeling the best he ever has. He admits the journey was scary and hard, but would tell anyone in his situation it was worth the fight.
It was probably singly the best decision I ever let anybody make for me.
I used a range of things, but my main was oxy and fentanyl.
For Dalton, it all started after a serious car accident that resulted in 3 shoulder surgeries in just 9 months. He was prescribed painkillers to help during the recovery, but later left him addicted.
I still was pretty high functioning. I worked, I went to the gym, I went and hung out with friends all the time, so I still did all the regular things that I usually did, just not, you know, sober and clear-minded.
Over the next year and a half, Dalton began to use more. As oxycodone got harder to find, he turned to fentanyl. After 2 months of trying to detox himself, it was obvious he needed help.
I was starting to hurt a lot of people around me and throw away a lot of good things in my life due to the things I was doing, so I was ready to stop, but I couldn't do it by myself. My fiance brought it to the attention of my parents of kind of what was going on because she didn't know what else to do and she was getting really worried for me.
But Dalton's dad is an IAM member, and he knew exactly what to do and who to call.
I mean, it was a matter of like 2 days where they had everything taken care of for me, had a place for me to go, had a plane ticket ready for me, everything.
Today, he has been clean and sober for almost 2 years. He even got married, purchased his first house, and started his own business. When asked where he would be today without the union, he told a narrative too many addicts tell.
Single, without a girlfriend, possibly no place to live, or the worst case scenario, dead. I mean, with the kind of stuff I was doing, I've seen a lot of people die from it, and I could have very easily been that next one.
Kenneth and Dalton are paying it forward by sharing their stories with the world, in hopes to be that moment of clarity for someone else who may be struggling.
Giving back is probably the main reason I decided to do this video. If I can help one person understand that they can be sober, they have the choice not to drink anymore or use. They have that choice, and there are plenty of good options out there.
At the time right before this program, I was at a huge turning point in my life where I was either going to go down a really bad path or figure it out, and luckily I had the help and the resources to go down the right path.
Everybody's waking up to apprenticeships. That it's a great way to go. That not everybody necessarily has to go to college, and that maybe this is a way to start training young people to get into the workforce.
That's Ira Stern, the coordinator for the Youth Transition to Work program with IAM Crest, which partners with IAM District 15 in New Jersey, helping high school students transition to jobs in the automotive and diesel technology fields.
It's not something that, I have to go out and really sell very hard because it's not a great thing, but you want people to buy it anyway. That's not the case here. It's a win-win situation. The kids don't have to pay anything and they get their job and they get training.
After high school, Joash Jean was accepted into his dream school, the New Jersey Institute of Technology. But there was a pretty hefty price tag attached to this opportunity. That's when his high school shop teacher told him about the IAM's diesel apprenticeship program.
They said that they would pay for my schooling, they'll give me a job, and it was all free. Now, it sounded too good to be true, but I figured, what's the worst that could happen? College will always be here, but this program, it was kind of like once in a lifetime opportunity. And I was skeptical, but, I took the chance.
That was 8 years ago, and today he continues to work at Penske Auto. Joas has no regrets and is thankful he took a chance because it's given him much more than a career.
It definitely changed my whole trajectory of life, and just even my mindset is understanding how things work. Like, I literally look at life differently because of this job, so I would say that it's definitely been beneficial.
At 16 years old, Sergio Perez moved to the United States from El Salvador with his parents and siblings. He learned English here and started attending high school. That's where he heard about the IAM's automotive program. Since Sergio wasn't eligible for financial aid due to his immigration status, he jumped at the chance and applied for a spot.
I applied to it, I went through all the tests, and I had an interview with Mr. Ira. That's how I found out.
Sergio was accepted into the 4-year automotive program. He's recently completed his 3rd year and loves his job at Crown Cadillac. It's hard for him to describe just how much this opportunity changed his life.
Changed it completely because otherwise I will be doing more physical work. I'm very glad that Mr. Ira gave me the chance because there were other 30 students applying for that spot, and I don't know, he saw something maybe in me, and I have tried to do the best I could.
Chris Farrell, a 24-year IAM member at Crown Cadillac, teaches the automotive class 2 nights a week. He believes in this program and understands the value of mentoring.
That's how I learned too. When I first got hired, they didn't just throw me in the shop. They put me under someone who's already had, 15, 20 years experience.
The program creates an environment for success, not just for the present, but also for the future. The students that leave this program today will be the workforce of tomorrow. That's why it's so important that we support and create opportunities like these in every local and district lodge throughout the Machinists Union.
We encourage you to set up an apprenticeship committee. This is so crucial to our next generation of workers and helping to grow and expand our union.
Today, apprenticeship programs can be found throughout the IAM, teaching current members new skills and others that help young workers entering the workforce. It's our responsibility to teach the next generation of workers the skills that will put them on the path to a good-paying middle-class job and a future they only dreamed of living.
I just want to thank the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, for the chance. It has changed my life.